Okay, hey y'all. So I'm going to be showing you today how to remove the door card and all of that. This is pretty much standard to all mini trucks. This is a Dihatsu Hijet, but this should get you enough knowledge to be able to do it on any truck. The final result is going to be no door handle, no lock, no door card, just completely barren. I'm going to start. There are 3 screws. There's a single one in the door handle, and there's 2 in the pull handle that's on the door panel. These tabs here, flathead screwdriver or a pick, pulls them out just fine. So you got to basically pry behind that, and then they pull out like that. So this one, okay, that's out. These 2. Get this other one out. It's kind of annoying working and filming. I have a lot of compassion for all of those guys who do far more complex jobs than this while filming. Okay, so all that's off. Reinstalled the crank to show you how to remove it, right? Because this is kind of stuck on in there. Behind the crank, I don't know if you can see in this little slit here, but there's a tiny bit of like brass colored material in there that you can see. So that's a clip. It's open on one end and it's looped on the other. So I always get a hook down there in the clip like this, and I just sort of pry it back until it pops out like that. Then you can grab it like this. Ooh, that one fell. Let's go grab that. So these clips are very small and easy to lose. This is what it looks like. So get a good look at that because it's super easy to lose these. I have dropped this twice now and it's taken me a minute or 2 to find it. So that is the clip, and once that's out, you can pull that crank right there. So that all comes off. If you do lose these clips, they have them at Amazon, AutoZone, eBay, wherever. They're everywhere. So they're not rare or anything, but they're just kind of hard to find when you drop them. So definitely be careful with those clips. So the screws are out. You can pull that door handle there. And then you can see in there, there's a little metal rod. So I can zoom in on that for you. So that rod right there needs to become disconnected. So I usually get that with a pick, and I send it in there. And this is kind of hard to see, and I apologize. But you get the pick in there, and this one's not good. It's easy. There we go. It's kind of a twisting motion, but then that comes out, and that's free. So that's how you get the handle out. After that, you can use a trim tool. I'd recommend a trim tool because it's probably better to the paint. But to get all of this out, there are red pop clips around the perimeter of this door panel. So you get the first one here on the end, but that's what you're dealing with here. So they're spaced out every 8-10 inches or so. And here's another one right there. And that one, you're gonna find a lot of these like to break free from the panel. So if it happens, that's unfortunate, but basically you wanna try and pry at the base of the plastic piece as to not damage the wood of the door card. Because if you pull on the door card, sometimes they'll come out and sometimes they'll just rip out of the door card. So get those all the way around, and then I'll show you the next step. Panel off. That's what you have for the placement of the top pins, in case you want to see that. So that's the final panel there, and then you're left with this. So I'm going to be removing the door handle. So door handle removal, there are 2 bolts through here. So you're going to have to pull this leather shield down like that, and then this guy here just pops out. I pretty much never reinstall this, but there's 2 10mm in here. You're gonna have to take your crank and you're gonna have to put the window all the way up. So just really quickly throw it up. One thing to note, when you have the trim of the window off like I do, it can catch on these tabs here, and you're gonna have to actually push the window into the interior of the car a little bit to get it to go down without catching. But anyways, so 2 10mm in here. remove those, and then there's one more step to getting that handle out. Before removing the 10 millimeters, it's easy if you can remove this little stick in here. I'm gonna see if I can get an angle on it. There you go. So that stick right there is what connects the door handle into the locking mechanism. So basically you're gonna have a screwdriver or something of that sort in there, and you're going to pry that out of the handle. So it should just be a swift pop, and now you can see it's disconnected from its hole, and I should be able to actually grab that stick with my finger and move it. So that's what you got to get free right there. Next, you got to remove these two 10 millimeter nuts. I recommend having a magnet handy because they like to fall down into the door card. So once you have those nuts removed, this handle just pulls, and then you have to basically flip it up and pull down to get that bit out. But then that is the handle removement, and the last thing we have to pull is this lock cylinder right here. The lock cylinder is actually incredibly easy to pull. So down in here, there's the lock cylinder, and it is held in by a clip there, and you can see the way it goes into the lock is via this little arm down here. If you can see the arm going between that sort of fork. So it's actually really easy to install later. That was something, the first time I did this, I was concerned it wasn't going to be easy to reinstall. So this might be a two-hand thing for me, but this clip here, you got to pull it out like that. So there's the clip. And then once the clip is pulled, you can go around to the lock, and you kind of have to push it through from the back. So push it like that. There we go. Then the lock just slides out like that, and then there's your locking cylinder. So there you go. That is how you remove all of the junk off the door, including the door card and the locks. One thing I will say as a reminder, just remember you have no sort of handle to open this door with. So I always keep the windows down when I have all of the handles and locks off, so I can still pull the inner latch because that's still functional. And also, side bit, if you want to take these locking bits off, these just unscrew from the door card like so, and then these bits here pop off with a screwdriver. So that's about it. I'm going to leave those on because only the outside of this is getting painted. But that is all you got to do. So all the door junk removed.